It's a knock at the door no one wants to get. A police officer informing you that there's been an accident and your loved one didn't survive. My next guest, Sydney, says she knows what that feels like because that's how she learned her loving husband, Shane, and 19-year-old son, Jacob, had been killed in a drunk driving accident while on their way to Jacob's college orientation. Sydney says the driver, who was convicted and sentenced to 280 months behind bars, was a woman with multiple prior DUIs and who was driving on a suspended license. Sydney, I am so very sorry for your loss. I'm so very sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
You say you think about your husband and your son every single day.
Constantly. There's not an hour that goes by that I don't think about them. There's the big occasions like Christmas, my son's graduation last year, where you just feel this heaviness because their absence is felt so much. And then all the little moments throughout the day, like a song coming on the radio and you think of a memory, or just ketchup. My son loved ketchup, so every time I see ketchup, I think of Jacob and all those other little moments.
Take me through the moment that you put your hand on that doorknob and opened that door.
My first thought was that it was my older son. He's a whitewater rafting guide, and I knew he was on a trip, so that was my first thought. And then the officers asked my name, and they said, "Do you know Shane and Jacob?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "There's been an accident." And I thought, okay, we're on the next flight to Florida. We'll fix this. And then he said, "They didn't make it." And it was the craziest thing. I thought, don't tell me that. This is the worst candid camera ever. And they were very supportive, and then I had to come in and tell my younger son, and we had a cousin staying with us, and the shock. I feel like I'm still in shock, even a year and a half later.
And this drunk driver, how did they impact your husband and your son? How did the cars come together?
So Shane was taking a left. He had a green arrow to take a left, and there was a car in front of him. He wasn't the first car to go. And the other person was coming straight and had a red light, and she was going approximately, the car computer said it was between 87 and 94 miles per hour, and hit the passenger side broadside. And they said Jacob was killed instantly. And they had a pulse on Shane, but then he died as well.
So she hit him going 90 miles an hour.
Approximately, yes.
Yeah. You know, Sophia, Chase, you two know, you've seen how I've talked about how slow your reactions are, how you can't hardly stand up sometimes, how you're slurring, and can you imagine how fast things are happening when you're in a car and you're moving that fast? Nobody has a chance. And Sydney thinks about, you think about how your son had his father when he died. You think about how they had each other in that split second that car hit them.
My son never got to see 22.
I'm sorry. I really can't imagine. I really honestly can't.
I hope you can take your experience as a learning experience and learn from it and make better choices going forward, because gravity it's hard to imagine the impact that it can have on other people. You just don't think about it. Like, you think, I'm just getting home, but Shane and Jacob never made it home from Florida.
There's a lot more to it than that. I want both of y'all to think about this while we take a break. I'll be right back. Chase, you have 2 children. You have a 3-year-old, you have an 18-month-old. Have you driven with them in the car when you were drunk? Struggling with foot, knee, or back pain? G-Defy shoes can change your life. G-Defy shoes are FTC approved to relieve pain caused by weight-bearing activities like walking, running, or prolonged standing. G-Defy absorbs harmful shock and returns energy to each step. This means better body alignment and improved biomechanics. Translation? Freedom to do what you love pain-free. G-Defy shoes have your back. Literally. They're a game changer for seniors and veterans who deserve comfort and support. Here's the deal. You can try G-Defy risk-free with a 60-day trial. And right now, listeners of this podcast get an exclusive offer. 50% off orders of $120 or more. Just text Dr. Phil to 91888. That's right. Half off shoes designed to improve your quality of life. So take control of your life. Text Dr. Phil to 91888 or visit gdefy.com today. It's time to feel good again because you deserve it. Tonight we're discussing the consequences of what happens when someone makes the selfish decision to drive under the influence of alcohol. Shockingly, it's reported that fatalities from drunk driving crashes have hit a 20-year high. But yet arrests for DUIs are down. Why? Well, there's just not enough police these days. Sydney knows the reality all too well because her husband and teenage son were both killed by a drunk driver, a woman, who had previous multiple DUI convictions. Sophia, Chase, you guys are seeing this isn't theory. Somebody's killed every 39 minutes in America by a drunk driver. 2 of them were husband and son to Sydney. And you see, this is real. It happened. It could have easily happened to either one of you. And Chase, you have 2 children. You have a 3-year-old, you have an 18-month-old. Have you driven with them in the car when you were drunk?
No, never. I wouldn't do that.
How would you feel if you had them in the car, taking them to go buy a toy or something like that, and Sophia came through the intersection and killed both of your children? I mean, this is how this happens, guys. This is real. Drunk drivers kill people. This is a reality. You can joke about it, you can laugh about it, you can explain it away, you can think, oh, this happens to somebody else. But it doesn't. It happens to everybody. And Chase, if you think what happened to Sydney can't happen to you, she lost 2 members of her family, you think you can't lose 2 members of yours? And Sophia, you've had a family member hit by a drunk driver in a semi-trailer truck. How much, what's it take to wake you up? My God. How close does it have to get? I mean, do you need to spend time in prison? What has to happen here to wake you guys up?
Conversations like this.
I'm trying to save you from being in a situation where you wind up with 280 months in jail and living the rest of your life knowing you've killed somebody and can't ever take it back. I mean, Sydney, what do you say to these ladies?
Just, I hope that they can really try to understand the impact of it, and to make good choices going forward. Like you said, call an Uber. I'm not saying that you have to be a teetotaler and not drink. If that is what works for you and that's what you have to do, thank you for doing that. But if you do choose to drink, just plan ahead. If you know you're going to go downtown and hang out at the bars and have fun, take an Uber there, take an Uber back, call a friend, have somebody be a designated driver. There's I just feel there's no excuse for it.
There's absolutely no excuse for it. Zero. When we come back, what I think Chase needs to do if she's serious about remaining sober after the break. You are gutting up and trying to get sober here on your own just because you know what you're doing is wrong and you got people saying, hey, take a shot. You know what? Take a hike. $36 trillion. That is the U.S. debt, and it gets deeper and deeper by the day. Our debt has never been higher, nor have the stakes. The government is looking to slash the federal budget by $2 trillion, and no one knows what that will mean for your job, savings, and future. I've seen a lot in my time, and there's one thing I know for sure. You need to prepare before it's too late. I trust Preserve Gold to help protect my wealth, and I strongly urge you to do the same. They are the only precious metals firm I trust and recommend to my family, friends, and audience, and they have a special offer just for you. Text Dr. Phil to 50505 to get your free precious metals guide from Preserve Gold. With gold prices recently breaking records and analysts predicting this trend to continue throughout 2025, you cannot afford to wait. As a bonus, you can get up to $15,000 with a qualified purchase from Preserve Gold. So don't wait. Text Dr. Phil to 50505 today. I wanted to speak with Chase before we go about something that I was reading in your history here. It was just a line buried in a paragraph, but it talked about the fact that your friends will try to get you to take a shot, kind of as a celebration. They know you're trying to get sober. It's kind of like, oh, come on, take a shot. And I just want to tell you, if that's the case, you need to get some new friends, because those are not friends. You are gutting up and trying to get sober here on your own just because you know what you're doing is wrong and you got people saying, hey, take a shot. You know what? Take a hike. That's what needs to happen. If you got friends trying to get you to abandon your quest for sobriety and take a drink with them, they're not your friends. Those are not your friends. They don't care about you. Those are not your friends, and you need to get some new friends. People that recognize your quality, the fact that you are a working mother and trying to fight a disease, and they're trying to sabotage that, you need to kick them to the curb, because that's not the kind of friends that you want. Please surround yourself with people that share your goals, share what you want, share what you are seeking to put in your life that is healthy.
Right.
It will make a big difference. When you're trying to push a rock up a muddy hill, you want people that are standing next to you trying to push that rock up there, not somebody that's trying to trip you or trying to push the rock down the hill or distract you. You want people that are supporting your healthy goals, and if they're not, get them out of your life. Or tell them straight up, look, you're not helping me. I don't need that. I don't want that. So back off. You're not helping.